Hi everyone, I'm immigration lawyer John Khosravi. Thank you for joining me today. It is Monday, June 1st, the 1st day of June. We're almost halfway done this year, and what a crazy year it's been. Getting news about curfews, people burning the place down. Hopefully the situation gets better soon, but again, I'm immigration attorney John Khosravi. Today is Monday, June 1st, and here we're on our regular Monday through Friday immigration Q&A to discuss questions related to the immigration process. It's important to note this is general information and education only. It's not intended for your individual case. You should consult with an immigration attorney about your case to get an idea what's going on and what's proper. We're going live on immigration on TikTok. The handle is Immigration Lawyer John. That's the best way to view it. I'm also today Monday doing on Facebook, JQK Law Firm. The video for this will be put on YouTube under the JQK Law Firm YouTube page, as well as all my other social media like Instagram. If you are on TikTok, if you go to my profile page, one, subscribe. Secondly, there's a link tree there. You can click on that link and it has access to my newsletter subscription, my Yelp reviews, my website, all of this other stuff. So you connect and get the best information, the hottest information there is that's going on right now. And there's a lot going on in immigration. You know, they just had a new travel ban for China, for example. Premium processing is opened up. And this week we may hear about DACA, Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals. Now, unfortunately, DACA is probably going to be gone. DACA was just created by the previous president, and so just easily could be taken away, especially with the way the Supreme Court looks. They're probably going to go that direction. My main worry now is with the riots that are happening, there's a big problem because if they take away deferred action for childhood arrivals, this is 1 million young people in the United States who have work permits, take it away and make them subject to deportation. In light of what's going on after the, with all the violence and stuff, that might be just pouring gasoline on the fire, and a lot of bad stuff can happen. So hopefully they postpone their decision. Hopefully if it's a positive decision, they put it out. If it's negative, they're taking away DACA. Hopefully they'll just postpone it for a little bit somehow without making it clear that's the reason they're doing it, because giving that sort of information right now could really create a lot of havoc. I mean, I live in a decent part of town in Los Angeles, and they're boarding up shops. If people are attacking people, it's a crazy situation we're going through now in the United States. Pray it gets better. But well, putting all that aside, let me know what kind of immigration issues you have. We have people trickling in right now. We have a small group right now on TikTok. Let me see if I missed any questions. But while people get ready to ask their questions, what else is going on? So premium processing is the ability on work and employment-based visas, visas and green cards, not everyone, but most of them, to pay an extra amount so they make a decision on your case faster. And that's going to be opening up in a staggered fashion in June, which is June already. So what we'll see is H-1B slowly could do that and the like. Now, we have a question here. It says, Biso asks, hi, does the U.S. allow triple citizenship? Well, technically, no. There are languages that say you can't really do that, but I've never seen it enforced, and I frequently see people have multiple citizenships, 3 and stuff. It has not been an issue, but they could always change rules if they want to, but it's not something I would be worried about right now. I've never seen them enforce it or for it to be a problem. So, it all comes down if they actually do something about it or not, and historically that has not been done. So I wouldn't be worried, but make sure you have your 2 main citizenships, one U.S., one your backup country. If need be, you'll lose a 3rd one, which is not as important, but I'm sure all of them are important to you. I know how it goes. Okay, we have more people trickling in. So that's the situation with premium processing right now with people with H-1B cases pending. That's something they want to look at. H-1B is specialized knowledge workers. They file their cases right now. They want to get a decision faster. That might be a thing to do. It's a staggered way. Tara asks, is USCIS open or not? Okay, so this is the question that if you post a video on YouTube, you get 1 million views. USCIS is beginning to reopen on June 4th, but beginning to reopen. So they're slowly opening up oath ceremonies. There's less people going, so they have social distancing. Some offices are opening, some are not. It's going to depend on the local city rules, local jurisdiction, all that kind of stuff. In light of the riots that are happening right now, they may take a while to open up for those reasons. For example, downtown LA is under attack right now. So even though maybe they would open up in Los Angeles June 4th, typically they may not this time. Or in San Francisco where the lockdown is really extreme, they may not open up there. So it's not anything definite yet. They're starting to open up the process, biometrics as well, oath ceremonies as well. But what you really need to do is just whenever you get notice for your case, that's when you get it. There's nothing you could do to hurry it up. Very rarely could you do that with a lawsuit or a special expedite request. Biso asks, how does U.S. allow already with dual citizenship to apply for naturalization. The U.S. just allows that. I don't know what to tell you. So if someone has another citizenship, they could apply to become a U.S. citizen. They have not been strict on this. Some countries like Japan, India, Germany do not allow dual citizenship, but America has not had a problem with that. And so many Americans have dual citizenship. It's a normal procedure. They don't even ask about it. I mean, they might ask to see your passport because they want to see your travel history inside of it. But other than that, it's not a big deal. It is what it is. So if you got a problem with it, then contact Congress and see what we can do there. But it's an interesting thing that U.S. does allow dual citizenship, but it just goes to show America is a home to immigrants, and the free movement of people is very important to us. Historically, that's why these haven't been issues. When you look at countries like Japan, Germany, India, these are more internally looking countries that don't accept foreigners as easily. And so, I mean, they're successful in their own way, but I mean, America's success is special, and I think has a lot to do with this ability to come here. Miad asks, my appointment was on March 18th for a marriage green card, ... I'm guessing you're going to say that the interview is canceled. You just, what's the period of time to get the interview again? Whenever they get around to give it. There's no fixed period of time. Whenever they get around back to you, they'll get around back to you, and you'll get an appointment notice in the mail to let you know that it's coming up. So just be patient. That's the answer to every question about timelines, unless they're kind of extreme, you've been waiting a long time. But March 18th getting canceled is not that big a deal. Everyone got canceled, and so there's a big group of people that need to get rescheduled, and they're doing less people, so it is what it is. Sarana asks, does DUI probation affect marriage-based interview? It can. It depends on what happened to the DUI, what your status was, and all this kind of stuff. Typically, one DUI is not a problem, but it depends on the facts of the DUI. Someone may have had a really high alcohol percentage, so it looks bad. You know, it looks like they're not a good person. Someone may have hit somebody. So there's a lot of things that go on. Someone might have ran into a building and caused property damage. The immigration officer can't have a problem with that. So it depends on your case. Usually not a problem, but I can't say that with certainty, especially under this administration, where they've gotten more difficult the way they're looking at immigration issues. So if you have a DUI, you should have an immigration attorney that's with you, so you could go and watch out for your benefit at the interview. And you should have had one at the time of filing. Actually, I just got a case where a guy had a DUI approved. He was in East Coast. I don't want to be too specific, but he was in Northeast, and he had a DUI. We had to get a lot of extra paperwork, the arrest record, the court record, all this kind of stuff. But he was approved without a problem. We just need a lot of extra paperwork. Hamza asks, how to expedite I-130 for spouse? You can always contact USCIS, call them up, and request an expedite notice request. You have to have some sort of humanitarian need, some sort of thing that's going to affect USCIS, all this kind of stuff. But when you call them up, they'll explain it to you and be able to document what the need for an expedite is. You can't just expedite to do it. You have to have some urgent reason that you can document. Brett Sharp on Facebook asks, I got an I-797 over 2 months ago. That's the receipt notice, but no letter from National Visa Center. Tried emailing, no answer from them. Tried emailing consulate, the answer is embassy shut down. The National Visa Center is not shut down. So what the situation is here is I think they're saying their I-130 petition was approved and they got the notice. It's been 2 months and the National Visa Center has not yet responded. So what's next? Well, you're not supposed to contact the embassies. They have nothing to do with this. The National Visa Center is processing cases, but they're slower. But there's a big inconsistency. I have cases where the I-130 is approved and we get the embassy notice before the approval notice or a day after, and now in some cases 2 to 3 months go by before the National Visa Center notifies us to be in consular processing. So you may have to wait a few more weeks. There's also an email, it's NBC research at state.gov or something like that, that's intended for these kind of situations when you're not getting the notice quick enough. You could try contacting them, but waiting 2 or 3 months is not abnormal, but that's something you could try. Check what the email is again. I'm saying off the top of my head. I have it saved on my computer, but I think it's nbcresearch.state.gov or something like that. Look into that. Hopefully that information helped. Okay, so we got a question. Odhidi asks, can a green card holder live out the United States for more than 2 years? No, a green card holder shouldn't be living outside the United States, period. When you have a green card, you're saying I'm living and resident in the United States. If you're outside, you could easily lose your green card if you're out for 2 years. You could apply for what's called a reentry permit, which is telling the government beforehand that you're going to be absent for a while for some specific reason. And if it's approved, then you can stay outside for 2 years. It's not guaranteed that you could keep your green card. They could hassle you about it. They rarely do, but I've read court cases where they have done stuff like that. The reentry permit's the way to go if you need to travel. If you need to schedule a consultation and talk about it, email my office, info@jqklaw.com. I was talking with somebody who was going to school overseas on Sunday morning for a consultation about the same situation. They had 2 more years of school left, and they couldn't keep coming back and forth. And so when they're going to come, they're coming during the summer, and next month we're going to apply for a reentry permit, and so they'll get that and then be out to finish their school and not have to keep flying back and forth. Please note there are consultation fees with my office, but email me and we can take it from there. All right, Swords asks, hi sir, last month I applied for citizenship. When they will email me for a fingerprint? I don't know. The fingerprinting or biometric system right now has been shut down, so they have to reopen it. There's a backlog of people who need to do fingerprints, so I'm not sure how they're going to handle that. You just have to be patient. There is no fixed time. Just be patient. If they recently took your fingerprints for some reason, they may just use the old fingerprints in the system, but it just depends on what USCIS wants to do. You're at their mercy, so just be patient and see what happens with them, and don't worry about timelines. I know you want to worry about it. I know you want to get your life going, but just deal with it. You have no power over this situation. Just let it flow and make sure you didn't mess up on the application or have some stuff you should have talked about that you didn't mention in the form. Samurai, you're doing a great job. I really appreciate it. Well, thank you, Sarana Misran. I guess it wasn't a question, it was a statement, but thank you. I appreciate that. Joseph asks, my mom's been in the U.S. since she was a teen. Could she become a citizen somehow or something? Well, you don't automatically become a citizen unless her parents were citizens or something like that, or rare other situations like she was in the military. Just because she's been here for a long time doesn't necessarily mean she gets some sort of status, maybe lawful permanent residency status. There is one thing called, I was on the tip of my tongue, I just forgot it. But if you've been in the United States since a certain day and you can track it maybe like in the 70s or 60s and you're continuously here, there is a program that allows you to get permanent residency, but it really just depends on your mom's case. So what in your situation, maybe if you were born a U.S. citizen, maybe you can apply for her if you're 21 and your mother entered lawfully. There's a lot of nuances to this. So what you really should do is have your mom go to a consultation with a lawyer, review her case history, review her travel history, see what's going on with family members who have status, what your status is. Go through the whole thing and see what options are available to her. You never know. Sometimes people come over for a consultation, all of a sudden find out they're actually citizens they didn't even know. This happens. They were citizens the whole time and they thought they were illegal. It's crazy. But they didn't have the proper guidance to illuminate that. It's not a common thing, but it does happen. In my career, it's happened several times. But really, you should just consult with an immigration attorney in private to look at the case. This is too big a topic to just talk about briefly in this kind of situation. Okay, let's see what else. Soars, you're welcome. I appreciate that. Hamza asks, green card renewal timeline. Well, 6 months, 1 year, 2 years. I don't know. That's that. Don't worry about timelines. Just be patient. Another question. Waiting on appointment for Juarez. Is there a case receipt I can check for updates to my current case? Not really. You just have to be patient. I mean, the embassy's shut down right now, so nothing's moving forward. When it does, Ciudad Juarez is the U.S. embassy in Mexico that handles green card cases. They're notoriously backed up 6 months to a year anyway, so you're waiting for a while, and there's no way to check on it. You just have to be patient. All these timeline questions, you have to be patient. That's the only thing that's realistically could be answered. Anything else is a lie. Joseph, thank you so much for your honesty. You're welcome. I appreciate that. It's very kind of you. User 866 asks, where are you located? Well, I'm here in Los Angeles, California, but my location does not matter. All the cases I take, almost all of them, maybe 99%, are done by email and mail and phone, so it doesn't require you to be in the same city as me. We just set up video consultations. You email me stuff. I even I have a photo printer, so if you need passport photos, you just take a photo like I'm right now. You stand right here, get the backdrop, you take a photo. I'll print it in my office myself and send it to USCIS. So my location does not matter. Just email me, we schedule a consultation. There are consultation fees, but schedule a consultation and we get to the bottom of what kind of services that you need. Naren asks, I'm a spouse of a U.S. citizen. Can I work unauthorized? Well, technically, when you're a spouse of a U.S. citizen with a green card case pending, or even if you're going to file in the future, the unauthorized work itself is not held against you. There's an exception for a spouse of U.S. citizens who've done unauthorized employment, but no one recommends that you do that. It is against the law to do that, and your employer is violating the law as well. And you never know. You might get some USCIS officer who doesn't understand what the policy is and denies you anyway. That kind of dumb stuff happens as well. But one issue that does pop up with people who work with authorization is you have to fill in a form called I-9 form when you work for some place when you're getting employed. And on that form, they ask you what's your background. Do you have a green card? Do you have citizenship? Do you have a work permit? And some people mistakenly say they're U.S. citizens to be able to work. And if you do that, that's the kiss of death. You're going to get denied and deported. Nothing you can do about it. Very rare exceptions, almost impossible. And so when you do unauthorized employment, you run this risk of filling out an I-9 incorrectly. Sometimes people say, well, I never fill out an I-9. Well, in those kind of cases, the employer knew you didn't have status, so they filled it out illegally themselves and they made up information. But if immigration, USCIS, finds that form I-9, they'll say, oh, you signed it. They want to believe you that your employer signed it. They'll blame you for it. So be careful when you do unauthorized employment. It's a very risky thing to do. Now, if you're married to a green card holder, unauthorized employment is a denial. This exception is for spouses, parents, and minor children of U.S. citizens. So be very careful. Don't, when a lawyer speaks, they use their words precisely. So don't just think it's the same for everybody. And really, you should consult with an immigration attorney for specific advice. But my recommendation is do not work with unauthorization, without authorization. It could be risky. Brett Sharp follows up. Thanks. It was an I-129F petition. Okay, so lawyers don't really refer to forms like receipts from the immigration office as I-797, or if you go to visa during these websites where people file on their own, they call it NOA1 and stuff like that. We just say you got the receipt, you got the approval notice, you got an RFE. That's how we talk about it, so just keep it simple. But okay, I did email the embassy inquiry email a week ago, no answer. Just want to make sure. Okay, the embassy inquiry email is not going to respond because they're so backed up. You got to go embassy research. That's the one who's designated to do this kind of situation when the embassy is not getting the paperwork in time. But 2 months is not abnormal. Anywhere from 1 day to 3 months is the average I've seen with these embassy issues, Brett. So hopefully that helped. But one thing you could do with an I-129F, maybe the embassy does have it. So when I told you before you shouldn't contact embassy, that was a mistake. That's for immigrant visas. For a fiance visa, sometimes the embassy will have some information. They'll have a case number. So in those cases, you can contact them. But right now, the embassies are shut down. So that's a problem with communicating. But as a correction to what I told you earlier, fiance visas are different because they pretty quickly go to the embassy. So actually, the National Visa Center isn't really participating that much. The embassy would be the person you would contact. You did go in the right direction originally. Yeah, they're shut down right now. They're not communicating. So that's the issue right there. You just have to be patient. Because right now, they're not accepting the case anyway, so they're not moving things forward. What you could do is prepare the paperwork that you need. The I-134, information you need for the DS-160. You can't access the DS-160 yet because you don't have the case number and stuff like that. But the civil documents, each embassy has a breakdown of how they want their K-1 fiance visas to look. And so go to that list, see what they want specifically, have it already, so as soon as it's there, you pay the fees, schedule a time, get the paperwork together, and get it in. But not only are the embassies closed right now, when they reopen up, there's an immigrant visa ban right now. So your fiance wouldn't be able to come anyways. So there's a lot of things going on. And then, if you have an immigration lawyer on tap that's working with you, they'll hopefully update you on all this stuff so you're better prepared rather than worrying it in this kind of by its own. But you just have to be patient. Embassy shut down right now. They don't need to see anybody because of the situation of the coronavirus. Okay, so Naren asks, job laid off, H-1B visa. Job, well then your H-1B is gone. You have to do a transfer quickly or you can't do anything. You're welcome, Carrie. Thank you. You're welcome, Naren. Hindas, I have a couple of arrests on my record. Am I going to be able to get citizenship? That's not a question to ask here. Go consult with an immigration in private. It's not a joke. Just, I have a couple of arrests. It's like, come on. You got to look into it and see the paperwork, what the arrests were for. It's not something I can answer here. You really should consult an immigration attorney instead of talking to somebody on the phone like this. User 866, how can I reach you? Do you have a website number? Thank you for your help. You should email me. If you go to my profile page on TikTok, there's a link tree that has my contact info. My email though is info@jqqlaw.com. Email me, break down what the main issue is that you're facing. Then I'll let you know how much the consultation fee is and if I handle that particular type of case. I don't handle everything right there. Thanks, Aaron. I'm sorry, thanks, Brett. I saw all right and Aaron popped in my head. Thanks, Brett. So if you're going to want to schedule a consultation, info@jqqlaw.com. Email me, describe what your immigration issue is, and I'll let you know, yes, I handle this, no, I don't, and if I do, how much consultation is needed, half an hour or more, and then you can make a decision if you want to schedule it based on the fees and all that kind of stuff. Hindu asks, I'll cover user, keep up the great. Thank you, user 866. Hindu, I'm not going to be able to answer this kind of question here about a person who's at arrest and stuff, so definitely consult with an attorney in private. Arrests are serious business. It's not a joke. You got to really analyze the case, what the arrests were, arrest record, court record, and look at the history of the person. There's a deep analysis that has to happen, so it's not appropriate to be answering stuff here. Saha asks, Hi, when is the U.S. Embassy be opening? Nobody knows, not even the people at the embassy know. And keep in mind, some countries like India are completely shut down right now. So whenever the Indian government makes a decision that things should open, then the U.S. Embassy could open too. So these questions are impossible to answer. If you need help from a particular embassy of any kind, you should continuously visit their website, the U.S. Embassy website for that country, for example, U.S. Embassy in India, and see what their website says. Are they open or not? Plus, if you have a case pending with the embassy, most likely they'll notify you when they're ready for you. So with regards to you worrying about when they're going to open up, when they're not, that's not up to you. Just enjoy the time you're having right now. Live in the moment and be patient. That's the right way to do it. Other than that, it's just guessing. There's no point in doing that or worrying about when things are going to open and when things are not going to open. So great questions right now. I just realized I was kind of talking really fast, so I should slow it down. You got some questions popping in, and I'm a fast thinker, everything goes fast in my head, but I always have to remember, slow it down, you know. Talk about this immigration stuff all day, every day. To me, it's just typical. Salgas, they issued the fiance visa. Sahak, you have to be more specific with what your question is. Right now, if you're asking, the immigrant visa ban that President Trump just put into place in May does probably, they wrote it really bad, but most likely does not include K-1 fiance visa holders. So if you do get your fiance visa approved at the embassy, if it was today, embassies are closed right now, but if it was today and you got, they wouldn't issue the visa because there's a travel ban right now for those, unless you fall within one of the exceptions. Maybe you have a kid that's a U.S. citizen, a small child, that would be exception, or you work in some sort of emergency space, you're a first responder, something, I don't know what it is, but unless you follow the exception, which is rare, they're not going to issue the visa, the fiance visa right now. You just have to wait for them to change this ban and see what's going on. So all of this goes to being patient. We have no power over this. This is our decisions by the president, and immigration is within their purview. They can do whatever they want, essentially. Vendantus asks, are USCIS offices open in the U.S.? Well, you know, I talked about this at length already in the last 20 minutes, so definitely catch the video where it's going to be posted on YouTube under the JQK Law Firm page. It'll probably be up, today's Monday, probably be up by Wednesday. But are they open? No, they're not open. Visit uscis.gov for the most up-to-date information, but even that website is not reliable. Every city and jurisdiction is different, so it just depends on the location and when they want to open up, and then when they get to your turn for your interview or something like that. They are accepting cases for processing, but interviews and stuff have slowed down, and they're going to be opening soon, but exactly when your office is opening, it's not clear. We have a friend, immigration lawyer Momita, who just joined. I'm about to hit the 10,000 mark on TikTok. Congratulations, you're getting there really fast. If you haven't already, if you're watching this, please go to her page as well. Her link just came, Immigration Mumita. She handles a wide array of cases, much wider than I do with regards to VAWA cases and court cases, and she's on the East Coast. So if you need help, she's a great attorney that can help you as well. Immigration Mumita, a great practitioner. Thanks for joining. So let's see if I missed any question in between there. Okay, so yeah, the immigration game is an interesting game. As an attorney, I would say most of us are friends. We try to help each other. That's something that's different. Some other lawyers, you know, when they make fun of lawyers, they think they're all mean and trying to like hurt each other or this kind of stuff. But immigration lawyers are really trying to help foreign people come and be successful in the United States. So we're all in it together to help each other, educate each other, promote each other, and everything we can do. And that's just the mindset that I have, and it really fit in well with the immigration lawyers community. And so that's why I love what I do. And that's why I come here and answer these kind of questions to help kind of alleviate the worries that you guys have. Because this stuff's pending, it's confusion. It's really hard. You have to study immigration law every day, all day pretty much, to try to figure out what's going on. It's that hard. And I'm a professor of this stuff. I do videos, I train other lawyers. But it's such a complicated area of law. And the number one reason it's complicated is if the president wakes up today, all of a sudden they'll say everything is different. And then I'll have to figure out what that means because they don't explain it well. We got to then think about what this stuff means. Or a court makes a decision, changes everything all of a sudden. Or USCIS on its own just decides to change things without even telling us. We submit a case, the rules have been one way for 40 years, and then one morning we wake up and they're doing the cases differently, and no one knows. And that's why when people ask, you know, how long things are going to take, what's going to happen, it's difficult. Even though it seems simple, they change this stuff on us without even telling us. And that's why we are constantly seeing the government being sued more and more, especially nowadays. Everyone is suing because it's so frivolous. You know, they just make things up. we had a question about unauthorized employment. They've said in their policy manual and essentially in the statute, that Immigration Nationality Act, that if you're a spouse of a U.S. citizen, if you work, it's not a big deal. But I was talking with a colleague yesterday about this, and they had a friend whose case was denied for unauthorized employment. So USCIS denied it. They went to immigration court. A judge looked at it there and was like, this is crazy. Why is this case even in court right now? It should have been approved. But the officer didn't want to. Now, that lawyer probably should have pushed the issue, prevented the case from going to court, and tried to close it down beforehand. Before Trump came, when you have stupid cases that go to immigration court that should not be going to immigration court, it was an error, we would just contact the government, their lawyer, and say, listen, this is a mistake here. Let's not let it go to court and waste everyone's time and money. But Trump came and said, no, there's no negotiating. Everything goes to trial. And so all of a sudden, everything is messed up. Yeah, Momita, AIR1, immediate relatives. So we had a question about somebody who had a spousal case, asking unauthorized employment okay or not. And I was on the AILA NMD list yesterday. Someone said they had a case where, marriage to a U.S. citizen, went to the interview, found out they had unauthorized employment, and all of a sudden the USCIS officer denied it and said, we can't approve this. And that lawyer should have fired it right there and said, this is crazy, let me talk to the supervisor. But for some reason, they got an NTA immediately, a notice to appear in court, and so they had to go to court and adjust in court. And the judge immediately approved it because it didn't make any sense. But that's crazy, how much money and time they have to spend, how much they have to freak out for something like that. So this is the nightmares of immigration law. And each case is different. I would never have expected something like that fact pattern I just explained to happen. And immigration Romita as well. That's it's crazy to hear something like that. But these things happen. It's unbelievable. And so it's you never know what you're going to deal with. And that's a question that pops up. People ask, should I have an immigration lawyer come with me to the interview? And I've seen a video of some immigration lawyers say, I think he's a complete idiot for saying this, but he's like, no, don't bring a lawyer because it makes you look suspicious. That's complete crazy. Like in this example I've just been giving right here, I wouldn't have, if I had a clean case like that, I would say, no, it's okay, unauthorized employment doesn't matter. But in hindsight, I should have been there so I could fight with the officer and say, hey, if that was my case and I didn't go, I should have been there because hey, you're making a mistake. And you never know when these officers are going to be making a mistake like this. 9 out of 10 times you go there, you sit as the lawyer and you don't do anything, and a client might think why did I pay this guy? But you never know. It's like health insurance, it's like car insurance. You never know when you're going to get an unreasonable officer that's going to fight you on stuff. So you got to go prepared. Okay, is that true? They're changing the fee? Aisha asked, they're changing USCIS fee. Yes, fees were going to be hiked anyway, but now USCIS is facing a budget shortfall, so they're going to be hiking it soon. So fees will be increasing for USCIS. Cashmon asks, is NBC open soon? NBC has been open. They're slowed down, but they're not even close. Aisha asks, why is NBC taking so long to review cases? Well, they're understaffed. Probably coronavirus situation. And just unfortunately how it is, and that's why we get annoyed with a lot of immigration stuff. And when people ask me how long things take, sometimes they take a while, sometimes they don't, and so it is what it is. And so we just have to be patient with this kind of stuff and hope for the best. Hopefully I didn't get too wild up and angry, but these are people's lives I deal with, and when I see frivolous errors happen on people's cases, I take it personally. I know how it is. You spend a bunch of money, you have your life on the line, your loved ones are here, and all of a sudden you get a denial notice. You just want to, as a lawyer, if I ever see a denial notice, even when people come to me for consulting, I feel like I want to throw up. But let alone if it was my case and I'm thinking I'm going to get my green card and all of a sudden it's denied for incorrect reason, obvious incorrect reason, or they're taking forever to make a decision when they should approve it already, it's really frustrating. But there's only limited things we can do, and sometimes we just have to let things go their way and just be peaceful and stoic about it. That's just how it goes. I guess our last question for today, Aisha asked, how long would it take then probably to review the case? What will happen next? Aisha, there's no how long, as I've been talking about for the last 30 minutes. It'll take however long they want it to take. And then once they approve the documentation, they wait for the embassy to contact the National Visa Center to let them know when they have a visa interview appointment time available for your case. And so you just have to be patient. There's no timetables at all. And you just sit there and wait. Hopefully you just get your documents together. Make sure to have tax transcripts, not just your tax return. Request tax transcripts, and that'll be it. And so Sammy, please review the video of today's talk, the last 30 minutes. I've been asked many times when USCIS will reopen. I don't want to bore the rest of the group repeating myself. And then Aisha follows up, what if you have less income to bring your husband or support him? Well, if you don't have enough income, that's a big problem. That could lead to a case denial. So you got to figure out the affidavit support portion, and also nowadays the public charge portion, your spouse, what they're doing. And if you're having issues, you're not sure what to do, just consult with an immigration attorney to see what the best route is, what options do or do not, may or may not exist. But that's the situation with that. Okay, so with that last question, hopefully you'll able to figure that out, but thank you. With that, we're gonna call it a day today. Today was Monday, June 1st. We're gonna have a great June. I think this, coronavirus situation is gonna get better this month. I think the riot's gonna go down. Hopefully people are gonna get approved on DACA, and we're all gonna grow this economy and grow a world to a better place. That's what immigration is about. It's the movement of people so they can better their lives, and that's why I love it, and that's why I love all y'all. Thank you so much, Immigration over Mamita. That appreciate the kind words. You're great. Thank you so much. And with that, we're gonna call it a day. God bless everybody. Be safe. I'll see you tomorrow, 5 p.m. Pacific. Tomorrow we'll be on Instagram, not Facebook. So JQK Law Firm on Instagram if you haven't followed there already. Bye-bye.